as you know.
So again, so with that being said, then it's the same thing. It's just you just increase your odds a little more.
The numbers is bigger though. That's the
What you
only
mean?
thing.
What you mean, Knight?
Like instead of 10 joints that you getting 10 numbers with this joint, you getting 10 like profiles, pictures, the whole
Right,
shit. Like, and
right,
it's not
right,
just 10. You getting like 100.
right. All right, we live now though. But I'm
Go.
just but no, but go ahead and finish your thought. I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So when people say that
Well,
it's harder
welcome.
to meet
We
now,
live. We live.
huh?
We live.
Yeah, we live.
You sent it to the group page.
Yeah, go check it.
Let me check.
Check it real quick. Go ahead, Knight. Go ahead, Knight.
Huh?
We live.
All right. I was just making sure that
Yeah, we
we
are.
showing up.
We are. I'm looking on the timeline now. Oh, you know what? Let me make it. Okay, it's public.
Yeah, there we go. All right. Yeah, yeah. All right. Welcome to Real Brothers Live. Real Brothers for the Real World. I'm TL. That's Anthony Pooch Mosley, and my man Stace Dowling,
Yo,
and we are Real Brothers.
that's right. That's right. But before we go on, uh, uh, we just happen to be talking about something. A buddy of ours talked about, I guess, meeting on the internet. So finish your thought, Pooch. Ted. We got some other topics to bring up, but you were talking about how nowadays it seems like it will be easier to meet people because you have so many more options. I guess that, as you said, Terry, back in the day, the goal was to go somewhere and get as many numbers as possible. Now you go out, or
Yeah,
you
these young
actually.
bucks is crazy with it.
I mean, but you don't even. But you don't even have to go out now. You could
I
sit at
know. Yeah,
home.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, so man, it's
But
like
see,
the
the
whole
young
world.
bucks ain't got no social skills. Back in the day, we had social skills. We knew how to actually talk to a girl. Like
Well,
a lot of these guys, they don't have the. I ain't
yeah, but Nike.
saying.
But can you imagine though? Can you imagine marrying the two? You a little bit of social skills, just a little bit, and that's gonna come. That's gonna come. The social skills are gonna come. The more you out there, the more you meet people. Those are gonna.
Yeah, but it's
That's
different
natural.
if you don't have like that ability to have like interaction. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's
Right.
hard to make a girl smile on the telephone or on the chat shit. What
Yeah,
they
but
do
it's
on the
it's
text.
but it's
You know what I'm saying?
easier. It's easier to get you to work your way in though. And then you have all these different places where people meet up, and it would be crazy.
Yeah,
It would be crazy.
yeah.
You know. So all right. So we gonna get rolling. We gonna get rolling. All right. We sent
What's our
out
topics for tonight, my
our
man?
topic. Okay. Let me see. We had a couple. We're gonna start off with
Oh, I thought we was gonna start with our Black History
Oh, that's right. That's right. That's
joints.
right. Being as though since this is Black History Month, we didn't want to
Yeah,
act like we
we
were
wanted to
neglecting
give a
our
salute
yeah,
to
yeah. Give
all
us salute,
the
some
Black
positive
history,
things. Exactly.
positive people in Black history that influenced our culture and everything like that.
All right. Pooch, you want to start it off, man? Who you have, Pooch?
Well, I mean, mine is a well-known inspiration to all black athletes in sports, and it's none other than Jackie Robinson, who, I know it's low-hanging fruit to pick him, but the reason why I picked him is it's apropos based on the times we live in. With racism still being
Right.
a major topic and a major stumbling block for this country. You look at what that man had to endure,
Right.
and
Yeah.
the question is, how many of us could have
Yeah.
done that if we were in his position? It took
Not
a
many.
certain type of
That's right.
strong-willed, strong-minded person to put up with that blatant racist attitudes that he was getting, not only from white fans, but from his teammates as well.
Yeah.
So, he could have stayed in the Negro leagues and been
That's right.
successful in doing what he was doing, but the fact that he came, to the major leagues to prove that not only could blacks play at a major league level, but they could dominate at a high level. And look what that spawned. It spawned Hank Aaron's. It spawned Satchel Pages. Guys like that. So many great Negro League players came to the major leagues, and now we see not only that in baseball, but we look at basketball, football. Even in hockey, a sport that was so white. I mean, a black person would have stood out like a sore thumb. But now you can see, what his patience and what his willingness to do for his people provided us in terms of opportunities as athletes.
Hey, Pooch, let me ask you a question. Do you think you would have been able to be because you was a good athlete in like high school and all that? Do you think you would have been able to? Do you think you would have been able to put up with being an athlete back in the days of Jackie Robinson, with everybody calling you nigga?
Oh no,
all this shit.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
People
why
don't realize how hard that had to be, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think we
Getting
lost
death
face.
threats and all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
You heard me? I think we lost face.
Where'd Black go?
How we gonna lose the moderator and the host of the show?
All right. Well, we ain't gonna stop the show. We just gonna keep it moving until he get back on.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you who my Black history person is.
Mm-hmm.
Because we based in Philly, I chose somebody that was, from Philly, and my person is Richard Allen. So he was a former slave and a preacher, abolitionist, and he was the starter of the AME Church, the African Methodist Episcopal. Off the dome, you seen that?
Okay, all right.
AME Church.
Yeah, I was gonna say the church in Philadelphia. He was started.
Yeah. And they named a projects after him.
That's the mark of greatness once they name a project after you.
Yeah. And I just want to thank Richard Allen for getting the project named after him, because that's where a lot of cats like me was getting money. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, this boy's stupid. Yo, Stacey, this boy.
I don't think I was down for a minute. I think my internet was down.
Yo, Stacey.
He got that gas.
I said, I'm glad that Richard Allen and them named the project after my man, because that's where a lot of us cats was getting money.
Yo, every Black person in the world looking at you like, stop playing. Oh, Nino Brown.
I mean, but now I just came back on. I was having technical difficulties. Did you give a little? Did you say something else about him? Or I missed?
I told her he was a former slave. He was an educator, an abolitionist. A preacher. He was, socially conscious when it was before it was a thing. You know what I'm saying? So Richard Allen was a good representer of Black history, positive Black history.
All right, okay, all right. Shout out to Richard Allen. All right, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, man.
All right, so something wrong with John. All right, so I had I'm going a little modern with mine. I'm going with LeBron.
LeBron James?
Yeah, can you hear me?
LeBron James.
I'm going with LeBron James.
What about
LeBron? Now this is the reason why though. Yeah, I'm going with LeBron. But but you know that I'm not the biggest consumer of sports, basketball, etc. I watch.
That's
so
why I'm surprised you went
to
there.
what y'all talking about.
Yeah. And that ain't Black history. That's Black now, nigga.
The reason is for. Well, I mean, see, but you know what? Well, let me. All right, this give me a nice little way to throw this in there. But I think that he's creating history now with the things that he's doing. Right,
yeah,
right.
He is.
But this is why I say that. This is why I say that. Of all the things that he's doing now, I mean, he did the primary school, and what he did politically during this political season. He kind of started working with a lot of the owners to use the arenas as voting stations, and I think that's something that
in 30 or 40 years he's gonna be a big Black history dude. For real.
Oh, yeah. They're gonna look back.
He's gonna be an icon. He's already an icon, but he's not.
And he's not gonna just fade into the wind. I mean, he's not going anywhere. He's there. So. I wanted to give a big up to him. Go ahead, Pooch.
Well, no, you was talking about LeBron James and all he's accomplished. To me,
He watching the game.
To me, that's like greater than any other aspect of what he's done as an athlete. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I don't
Yeah.
look at the basketball stuff. To me,
He's
if
a
you could-
great person.
yeah. I look at
Yeah.
no scandals with his marriage,
Good person.
good father. He's done a lot for his
That's right.
community. And a lot of these athletes that they could take their lead from him in terms of how you conduct yourself in the public eye.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm.
Staying off of the police
Right.
blotters and all
Right.
that stuff. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? And here's a guy just like a lot of us come from a
And-
one-parent home or come from a home where the mom was basically single all her life, but yet he's chose to not let that hold him back and do something great with his life, not just in the field of athletics, but also in terms of how he helped others come up. And you got to applaud that. You got to applaud that.
Off the field. And see it. And when we talk about, when I talk about infrastructure, I believe that those of us that can, to a extent, have an obligation or responsibility to do for those that can't. We
Right.
talk about you're only as strong as your weakest link. When you have these people, there's no way that he's going to be able to spend all that money. So the fact that he's what he does, the schools and those other social issues that he get involved with, and not only that, he seems to bring other athletes and people of wealth with him. I mean, that right there is an accomplishment to be commended. Now, is it Black history?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. Listen, Black
It
history
is. Right.
it's
Yeah,
not
because he
just about
created
the
that school a
past.
couple years ago. How about that?
Because you're still making history as you go
Exactly.
forward.
Right.
So it's not just about years
That's right. That's right.
ago. It's about the here and
We're
now.
living history.
Yeah.
We have Jody Austin on the line. She
We're living
says
history.
there's so many local grassroots people in our communities who have done what LeBron has. A lot of what
Absolutely.
he's done isn't new.
Right.
No,
I
but
don't
it's,
know if I
it's
agree
also,
with that. I don't
Well,
know a
and
lot
nobody-
of people that have
no,
done what LeBron
No,
has
I
done.
agree. Well, see, but at another level though, Nike, I don't think that she's that, because he has the resources, so of course he can do 10 times more. But I think the good thing about it is those grassroots people, those are the ones that really make it work, because they're doing it when he doesn't. They're living it. But the advantage is that when you have somebody that with a big bullhorn that doesn't, and other people see it, it can inspire other people to do it, to do more. You know what I mean?
Right.
So no,
right.
I
Get that
understand
part.
what she's saying. Well, why did you say you? What did you mean?
Well, I
Nike? You
just
said you
say
disagree.
he
You said
opened
that
up a
part.
school. You know what I mean? He donated like laptops and everything, or what you call them, notebooks to all these schools, especially like
Yeah.
where he's from in Akron and all that. Then he got like all these community
Yeah,
centers.
kids that couldn't get.
He helped get out the vote. Him
And again,
yeah.
and again, that's not to say no one is saying that what he's doing is new, but it's real easy for him to take his money and do what some of the athletes, as Poop said, do what some of the entertainers and the people with wealth do. Take their money, they put up a fence, and they say, I'm good, so we're good. But the fact that he continues, or he does things for he's a little more socially involved, I think is to be commended. And that's not to take anything from anyone else, because those people on the ground floor, I mean, like I said, they're the ones that are doing it and living it daily. So you need them, and hopefully someone like a LeBron with a megaphone that size can inspire other people to join grassroots organizations and be a little bit more involved.
And also just to piggyback on that, it's not just about LeBron James. Nobody here just straight LeBron loving, but we give him props because there's others who do what he do as well, like the sister brought out. And a lot of athletes do a lot of good in their own communities. But I think what we're just doing is to let people in. We all chose one person that we was going to highlight in Black history, and that was Stasis, and that's who we chose to go with. So that's who we're talking about.
Yeah. No, I get that.
Yeah.
What? So what's next?
All right, now go ahead. Actually, this is a pretty easy segue. We were talking about what do y'all the Wentz trade. You know, we were talking about.
The Carson Wentz.
That was one of our tops.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead, you look at it. He perk up now. All right, so what do you think, man?
No.
Look at it.
He can't wait now.
I mean, personally, I was ready for him to go. I think anytime you distance yourselves from your teammates and from your coaches, and you make it all about you, then it's time for you to go.
Think he did that?
I didn't.
He distanced himself?
Well, that's just the reports that was out. I don't know what he did because I wasn't in the locker room, but that's the reports that was coming out is that he wanted to be moved on and he was, distancing himself from his teammates. I didn't want to see him go. I thought Carson could have been a good quarterback here, but I think the thing what happened was twofold. Number one, he showed a penchant for not being able to deal with competition.
My whole problem with the joint is like, all right, you get rid of Doug Peterson or Carson Wentz. You don't get rid of both of them. Like, so you lost your starting quarterback and your head coach that won you a Super Bowl all in the same year.
Not just won a Super Bowl, but took them to the playoffs 3 of the last 4 years.
Yeah, but I thought
first of all, how do you get fired when you got a winning record as a coach and brought the only Super Bowl to the city? Like, I don't understand how you fire that coach.
I think Laurie and Howie Roseman both looked at it like, well, if we get rid of Doug, he's going to want to stay. But they didn't read the so-called tea leaves because I don't think he would have stayed.
They said, what if we get rid of Doug?
I think that was their thinking. Like if
they got rid of Doug Peterson,
because Doug and Carson didn't get along, that Wentz would want to stay, but Wentz had already made up his mind. I'm out. And then the new coach didn't come in with a ringing endorsement for him being the starter. He's like, we're going to compete and see who's going to win the job. And there's nothing wrong with a coach saying that. But when you pay a guy $100 and something million to be your quarterback, you expect him to be your quarterback, not your backup.
Yeah, but I'm saying, like, I think they gave Peterson a dirty deal. Like, I don't think that was cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, he won a Super Bowl.
So why? Of course they don't give a reason. So why you think they got rid of him then? Yeah. So why do you think they got rid of him?
Because they thought that Carson Wentz.
Why do you think they got rid of him?
Because they paid Carson Wentz all this money, so they was trying to save face and be like, well, we get rid of Peterson, then that'll make Wentz happy. But Wentz still wasn't happy because he wanted them to get rid of the young boy too. What's the boy name? Pooch?
Oh, Hurt,
yeah. True Hurt.
Hurt, the backup?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. Well, Hurts.
Who wanted them to get rid of Hurt though?
Because he didn't want that competition on his neck. You know what I mean?
He's not good at that.
And then half the locker room Hurts. You know what I mean? Half the locker room like Wentz. It was starting to be a bad situation.
Yo, man, but you know what though? I don't think nothing is guaranteed. So competition, if you're a competitor, that should make you step up. I have to be honest with you. I think that was one of the issues I had with him. I think I was a fan of him. I thought he was going to be the next Brady. Oh, maybe not Brady, but I thought he was going to be that quarterback. But once he got hurt, though, man, when he got hurt, I don't know if he was ever going to come back.
Well, he came back.
I don't know if he was going to ever come back. So at that point, I'm thinking,
about it, though. He came back. He played. He got hurt his second year, the year we won the Super Bowl. He was on his way to winning the MVP. He got hurt. He came back the next year, got hurt again, but the Eagles still make the playoffs. And then the year before this year, he took us to the playoffs. Even though the division was really bad, but he led the Eagles down the stretch in the last 4 wins and got to the playoffs. Which again, he got hurt in the playoff game. Right. So it's not like it's not like he didn't play well. But it's just last year was like so bad.
You saying he was playing well?
He was playing well up until the beginning of last year.
He didn't play well.
Right. Last year was just so bad that the coaches had to do something.
He wasn't a rookie, though. Yeah, he wasn't a rookie.
Well, I mean, you can have a bad year. But you can have a bad year. The problem is your bad year can't be so bad that it's a historically bad year. And that's what he had, a historically bad year.
Well, did he have a good year though? He started out good when we went to the Super Bowl, but other than that,
no, that's not true.
Did he have a good year?
Because between 17 and 19, those 3 seasons, he threw for 81 touchdowns and just 21 interceptions. That's really good. So it's not like he played horrible, but this year in 2020 was so bad that the coaching staff had to do something.
Right. He had to go. Right. And like Jay Smith said, and that was my thing, he kept getting hurt. So at some point, and at some point you have to question his heart. You know, can you get out there and who was it? Aaron Rodgers played with broken ribs, and I understand the injuries are different, but at some point you have to show if you're a competitor, you want to be out there with your team, and you can't keep getting hurt every year and sitting out. Not if you're the starter, you're leader of a team, you have to lead.
Yeah, but unfortunately, football is one of those sports you can't. It's too physical of a sport to say you can play with this injury or that injury, and not all injuries are created equally, like you mentioned. I mean, it's one thing to play with a broken rib. You put a flak jacket on, put some extra padding around it. But when you're playing with a broken back, I don't see how you can do that, Steve. Or a torn knee. So he had injuries that wasn't common for the quarterback position. But by the same token, he did it to himself because he played reckless.
Yeah. So you were with him being traded then. I mean, all in all, you thought it was good they got rid of him.
As a fan, all you can do is ride out with your team. I ride with the Eagles. I don't ride with Carson Wentz. I don't ride with Jalen Hurts. If he's the quarterback come September, I'll ride with him. But if he's not, I'll ride whoever there is. But you just hope that your team makes smart decisions before they give $100-something million to a guy and tell you this is your quarterback of the future.
Yeah, but I mean, I just like I said, I go back to the whole coach shit. You can't get rid of your starting quarterback and your coach.
No, you can't.
No, that's too much.
Right.
But
so this year, y'all don't think we're going anywhere?
No. Well, we got the Sixers. You know what I mean? We still got the Sixers. Ben Simmons, I don't know what they're going to do about his little situation, but you know what I mean? I know he kind of mad he ain't make the All-Star game.
No, he didn't get voted as a starter, but he still got a chance to make the team. I think he will be All-Star. Because you got to remember, Doc is the All-Star game coach. So he's going to take one or two of either him and Harris or just one of them. But or maybe even both. But who knows? But yeah, that game he had against Utah, I think was a mindset awakening where he realized I have to be aggressive. I can't lay back. If I'm not going to shoot jumpers, then I might as well be about going to the hole and scoring baskets or creating for my teammates.
Yeah, you got to do something.
Yeah. Because that's
now. So you think he's turning the corner now? You think he's turning the corner?
I think so.
I think so. We're gonna see him play this way. You think so?
I think so because.
Why do you say? What makes you say that though? You think that it just finally clicked with him?
Well, I think like I had the privilege of playing in high school with some really, really good ball players, man. And one thing about their mentality was aggressive all the time. You know, we played with Chris Fletcher, my man Jay Smith, who led the pub in scoring. I played with Sad Eye. You know what I mean? Their mentality was always the same, which was aggressive. And when you're aggressive in your thinking, you're aggressive in your play. And so sometimes it takes a minute to realize can't nobody guard you. And I think Ben is just now realizing, even without a jump shot, nobody can stay in front of me. And I'm 6'10". That helps.
Still, only problem, my problem is, what I always say is with his shooting, man. Like, even if you can shoot, you have to shoot the ball. Like, because sometimes it takes a minute. Your defense is going to collapse on whoever is not you, because so you're basically playing 5-on-4 on offense, because
but what
they
about
can step
what he's
back
doing
if
now,
they
though,
collapse. You know how they play what's his name? MVP for
Giannis.
Giannis. They collapse. They collapse the court, and then they leave. They collapse. So when he drive the basket, he got to go through like 3 dudes to get to the basket. They're gonna start doing that with Ben. They're gonna start doing that with Ben.
So how they gonna handle that?
And if he can't drive if they stop the drive to the basket, then what he got? You got to have a jump shot. Even if it's just a mid-range, you got to have that.
Yeah, or you got to be willing to take the shot.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying.
But
Take
these
the
last
shot.
couple games, he's been doing more driving than anything else, though, right? These last
Yeah,
couple
But that's
games,
always
he
been his
scored
game.
like 40.
That's
But when the
always
playoffs come,
right.
that's not, it ain't like that in the
Yeah,
playoffs.
and you can see when Toronto beat Milwaukee, they
Right,
kind
true.
of exposed Milwaukee in a sense because they built the wall around Giannis. They say, look, you're not getting inside this
That
paint.
was the same thing. Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
and that's what Boston did to Ben back in 2018.
Okay.
They built the wall and said, okay, let's see you score from out here. And he would do the same thing that he would always do, penetrate, jump in the air, turn his back to the basket and pass the ball. I mean, I've never seen guys do that
Right.
In his
be
face.
successful in any league. I don't care if you playing Pee Wee League, you ain't gonna win like
Right.
that.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So if you shoot,
You gotta shoot.
even if I don't care if you make it, don't make it. Fuck it. But let it hit the rim, get it so somebody
It
can
has
get a
to be a threat.
rebound.
Has
But
to be an option.
you know,
Right.
keep them honest. You know what I mean? Keep the
Right.
defense honest.
Yeah. Because the answer ain't
Well,
I mean, I like what the Sixers
hopefully
did for
we-
adding shooters, but that's not the shooters that they added are not defenders. And well, Danny Green is a defender, but he's getting long in the tooth. And he's not a consistent shooter. So that's where Ben can adjust his game to compensate for their lack of defense is by opening up his shot so that you're not putting so much pressure on your guards to get back because you penetrated all the way to the hole and looking for a kick out instead of looking to score. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like that's just
Score,
basic
right.
basketball.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I mean, like I said, to answer your original question once again, I see the aggressiveness. I see the mindset changing. It's going to take time for this really every night for him to come out with that mindset. But this has also been a project in the making for the last 3 years. So
But
it's
see,
nothing
he got
new.
some shooters around him now too, so that makes a difference too.
It makes a difference, but
Yeah.
when your shooters don't
and
defend,
he has the coach who's also a basketball whisperer though. I think coach making a big difference, man. You know, he's on him. He played before, and he's respected.
Yeah,
You know,
they
he's
respect him.
respected.
You
so
can tell.
they're gonna pay attention to him.
well,
You
yeah,
can
I
tell
mean,
they
It's
respect
different.
him.
It's
Yeah.
different from the
They-
last coach.
they-
You know,
You could tell the team
Yeah.
is different than when what's the boy that they old
Brown.
coach was there.
oh, Brett Brown, yeah, I couldn't
Yeah,
stand Brett.
I don't
Brown.
think they
Brett Brown.
respected him like that.
But
right?
the thing
Especially not
though
these
is
superstars.
a good coach recognizes what his players' weaknesses and his strengths is, and he don't focus on the weakness. He highlights his strength, and I think that's what Doc has done. He's highlight Ben's strength and said, "Play to your strength. Don't worry about the jump shooting just yet, but play to your strength right now.
Uh-oh.
That's how you can help us win right now. Play to your
Right.
strength." And his strength is driving the basket,
Yo,
defending.
Linda Khan is about to start.
Oh, I see.
Linda
you
Khan
on
is
here.
about to start an argument.
Yeah,
She's
she
talking about
giving.
Magic
She
Johnson.
gave you
Magic
Magic.
Johnson averaged 16.5%.
16.5.
She about to start an argument.
About what? I can't see the comment.
Me and my son argue about that too.
Magic averaged 16.5% his
Magic
first four
Johnson.
season and shot 0% in his fourth.
Hold up, we talking
Now,
about.
did she know that, or did she just look that up? Which is it? Did she know that, or did she just look that up?
Did you know that? He played every position on the court when he beat our Sixers.
That's
Yeah, I
right.
don't think
So-
Magic
Yeah.
could go with that.
Yeah.
I don't-
Magic was a great player. He ain't need to
That's-
shoot. Magic could do
That's a
everything.
bad example. Let's get to the next one.
I think Ben's
All right.
current comparison
All
is
right.
like if you look at Giannis, that's what this comparison is. Except I think
Jay said, "Stop googling, Linda."
I'll leave it alone.
Hey, Jay, man, cut it out.
That Jay crazy.
Keep googling, Linda. That's fine.
Keep coming
Yo.
with facts. We love that.
All right, were you about to say something else, Pooch? Yeah. Keep coming with the facts.
Yeah,
Thanks,
well,
Linda. All right.
that.
All right. Second thing we had up here. All right, where we want to go? We want to talk about the death of Rush Limbaugh. Do we want to talk about classism,
Hold on.
or we want to talk about this jacked
You
up
see the
weather?
death
we
of
have?
Rush Limbaugh. You
You
talking
wanna
about in the
talk
sense
about
of
classism?
whether or not.
Yeah.
Fuck
All right,
Rush
hold
Limbaugh.
Well, as we talked about, yeah, I know. Well, Nike, let's run it back then. When I said what I said, what was your response, Nike? When I said the death of Rush Limbaugh, what did you say?
I said, fuck that nigga, man. fuck Rush Limbaugh. Fuck Rush Limbaugh.
Now, and True. And you know what though? And my response to that was, I'm sure a lot of us feel that way, and a lot of us felt that way when we found out that Trump had the coronavirus. We might not have said it out loud, but a lot of us were probably like,
Yeah.
bye. You know.
Yeah.
So, but what that also did though.
I don't think he really had that shit.
You don't think so?
No.
But why would they fake it though? I think he did.
He's trying to tell his supporters, because he's trying to tell his supporters it ain't that bad.
No, but remember though,
He went into the joint.
He was calling it.
So he was cleared up in 2 days.
No, he was any longer than that. Because remember, at first he didn't want to go to the hospital. They had to make him go to the hospital because the reports are coming out now that he was a lot worse off than originally thought. The doctors were saying, they were saying that he's okay, it's all under control, but it's coming out now that he was bad off. He was bad off.
Nigga should have took that long nap.
Hold on. What's the point of us talking about this again now?
Well, because Rush Limbaugh and Trump with Corona. How is it? What do you think about wishing bad on people? I mean, and this wasn't just hoping that he fell down the steps and got hurt. We were just like Tay just said, yeah, nigga, night.
Yeah.
Just wishing bad on people.
Let him take the long one.
Well, I mean,
the long nap.
When you talk about,
is that okay though? Is that okay?
It's okay.
No, it ain't okay.
It's okay with me.
I don't think it's okay to ever wish anything bad on anybody. I think what it is just the reality of life. You reap what you sow. You know what I mean? Eventually you're gonna reap what you sow, and and the wages that sin pay is death. So when you out here sinning against a whole nation of people like this, out here, making it hard and oppressing them, eventually it's gonna catch up to you. I don't think it's now, you might not.
But then if that's the case, then Pooch, but what does that say then? That he healed from it and he kept rolling. I mean, he didn't pay the ultimate price.
I ain't
regardless of how many.
I ain't talking about.
No, I'm talking about it.
We just talking about wishing bad on people. I just don't think that it's for me. It's not what I'm into. I just simply say, hey, look, people die.
I don't wish nothing on them. I mean,
day.
Fuck them. They die. Niggas can suck a bag of dicks. I don't got no feeling towards them. You know what I mean? They don't give a fuck about me. I don't give a fuck about them.
Well,
that's the bottom line. Like, I don't wish nothing on them.
No. All right, well, maybe it was me, because let me tell you something. When I found out that he had it, I'm like, yo, he needs to go. And I'll just say it, Trump. I was like, yo, he needs to go. He needs to go. So, but my point was then maybe it was just me wishing harm on him, because I was saying maybe the only way for him to calm down was some harm to come upon him or one of his loved ones. But then he realized.
I'm glad this is America, because we can say, fuck our president. Fuck that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Right. But at the same time, like, I will say though, with me saying that he needs to go, I felt kind of bad thinking like, yo, I'm basically hoping that, he take the long nap. I don't feel like that was right, but I'm just being honest.
That's between him and the big man upstairs. He get what he get. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true.
He probably didn't let him die because he ain't finished letting him suffer yet. That nigga gonna suffer.
Yeah.
He got all kind of cases coming up.
Yeah.
Guys like, no, I'll come and check with you later.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna kill you, make it easy for you.
He did a lot of damage. So if there's someone that needs to reap what they sow, I mean, I think that his picture is going to be as a part of that definition, because he did a lot of damage, man. We're still reaping getting killed and everything else as a result of
America
what he did.
Ain't
what he
be
did
the
not
same
do.
again after that.
Nah,
it's not.
It's
just not.
It's not. I agree. I mean, I guess the other side.
Not that we want it to be the same though either.
No, well, actually, that's what I was about to say though. It could be a change for the better, because we realize now that when somebody likes that get into a position of power, all the damage that they can do. Also, maybe it woke up some folk that needed to be woken up. You know what I mean? People that kind of
Right.
unplugged
Like
and said,
these young people. I'm so proud of these young people, man. Like they out here. I mean they take it a little bit too far, but they out here. You know what I mean?
right,
Like these
right,
young kids
right.
and they movements and all this and this and that. I mean, you know, I'm too old for that shit.
Mm.
I'm too like
Never too old, but I
politically
understand what you're saying.
correct. You know what I'm saying? Like I've been doing me for too long.
Mm.
So I'm just me, man. Like I know I'm politically incorrect. That's just you know what I mean? And I don't offend people just to offend them on purpose. But I know they offended some of them, but fuck
Right,
them. You know what I mean?
right,
Fuck them.
right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's just me. I don't mean nothing by it.
But if that's your truth, well, you know what though? But I think that I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, you know, what you're really thinking if it's your truth. But then I
Yeah.
think it's up to the next person to
I'm
say
all
why do you
about
feel that way.
speaking my truth, man.
Yeah, I mean,
I
but
ain't
you could
fronting
say
for
you could
nobody.
argue that that's why we as jacked up as things are now, because people are being honest with what they really believe.
Right.
You know, put it out there, because if
Put it
I know
out
that
there.
you hate me, I can ask you, why do you hate me, and we can discuss it.
We can talk about it.
We can talk about it.
Yeah.
But for you to have harbor that ill will towards me and a whole race of people, but then on the other side talk about how much you love everybody, you're not being honest. So we never get to address the true issues.
Right.
You,
and a lot of people,
you
don't know this. You won't know this, but a lot of people hate you for stuff that is not you. Like,
what you mean?
A lot of people, like when they see a black person, or even vice versa, it's like
What's up, guy?
you judge them on the stereotypes and what they look like. Like people judge me on what I look like.
Right.
And I don't, you know what I mean? It is what it is.
Right.
But you should take it further than that, though.
Right.
Like you shouldn't just automatically come up to or see a person and think he's one way or another. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, we all have prejudices. You know, we all judge a book by the cover, but I think what you said is key though, Nike, that when you, instead of judging the book and letting that stand, it's incumbent upon you to dig a little further to find out who that person is, because like you said, you can't know a person.
Start off with a, hey, my man, how you doing?
Exactly right.
You know what I'm saying?
Still got to get beneath the surface.
Bust it up a little bit. You know what I mean? You never know. You might learn something. I might learn something.
Right. And I think that's where the breakdown happens. They judge a book by the cover, and then that's it. Okay, all black folk are lazy, and not considering, well, no, I can't say that. Let me give this person a shot and see if it's true. Well, not that all black people are lazy, but you know, I mean, you know, we might run late every once in a while, but you know, you understand what I'm saying. What do you think, Pooch? He watching that game, isn't he?
He watching the game, man.
I'm not watching the game. I'm just listening to y'all talk, man. I mean, listen. this whole, you know, topic about, I don't even know what the topic is about anymore, but my opinion is simply this. Like I said, we originally started off is it okay to wish wrong on people, whatever. And like I said, I don't think that's ever cool, because I think when you do that, what you're trying to do is, you know, you're showing hatred in your own way. You know what I mean? And I don't want to ever be a person associated with hate. I'd rather be a person associated with love and a little dislike, but not hate.
Right.
I mean, because hate, it's too much energy.
Yeah.
Too much energy. True. And I ain't that kind of dude, man. I'm trying to be, you know, positive and do things a certain way now. You know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't hate nobody. I would rather be like, I don't give a shit if he died or not. That ain't mean I hate him.
Right.
Don't give a shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. So, Nike, you brought up the next one.
What's that?
You brought up the last two. The climate.
Yeah. Oh, we got to talk about the climate, man. That's my. You know what I'm saying? I'm like an old hippie. You know what I mean?
What you mean?
I believe in all that. I believe.
You don't just look like a hippie.
Yeah.
What?
You don't just look like a hippie.
You're not just a member of the president, huh? I remember the old hair club commercial, man.
No, anyway.
No, I got hair, nigga. What you talking about?
Nah, you say I'm a hippie, and I'm like, really?
But anyway, go ahead, Knight.
Hey, so
I think we
no, it's a big thing about the environment, man. Like so it didn't rain today, right?
Right.
And it only rained half the day yesterday. But before that, it had rained like 4 weeks in a row here. 4 weeks in a row. It may have not rained for like 2 days out of that 4 weeks. That's a lot of rain, cuz that is like rivers is like over flooding down this joint. It's and all of this extra rain. Like if you notice, the weather is getting worse and worse and worse and worse. Like the ice caps is melting and all that moisture is going into the air. So that's why we're getting all these bad weather patterns.
Damn.
He
got technical.
No, I'm just saying,
didn't
like
that.
it's winter in Texas.
Yeah.
It's free. You know what I'm saying? People now, in Texas.
Right. Now with the people that don't believe in climate change say that we've always had extreme weather, so this isn't anything new. They say and they also say that humans aren't the cause of it.
Nah, they full of shit. Look, hey, last year we had more named hurricanes in the history of since they've been keeping the record.
Right, yeah, true.
You know
they had to go to they had to start giving it the Roman numerals or something, right?
Right, yeah. They start going back around to the letters again.
Right. Yeah. What you call
that climate shit is real, man. Just matter of fact, since we've been in, a lot of people been in and have is forced not to be on the roads and stuff like that when we had this COVID shutdown. The emissions went down like I think like 3-4%.
Right.
It's crazy, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, I think now that we're starting to see that we're trying to do the right thing now. You have more electric cars now. I think I just heard that Ford or one of the majors is by 2035 gonna they're not doing any more combustible engines. So I think we're trying to address it now.
I'm thinking about getting some solar panels up this joint.
Yeah, I mean, nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Pooch, what you think, man?
I'm typing into the chat, man. I mean, I'm actually hitting you back. Yeah, I mean, obviously, it's something that's happening with the weather. I mean, you don't have to be a scientist to figure that out. But the thing is being denied by one side and saying, others are saying, yeah, it is. And I think it's a matter of convenience. Okay, it's convenient to say no, it's not, and it's convenient to say yes, it is, because I think both sides have something to gain by promoting one side or the other. But whether it's a political issue or not, the realism is, we can obviously see that the weather patterns have changed. I mean, what is this? You look at trying to think, December. I was playing golf in December. December 2nd was the last time I played golf. It was like 68 degrees. December 2nd.
Yeah.
Normally around October is when you stop having really good weather.
Outdoor stuff, right.
Yeah. So like it's real, and but like I told y'all last week, I don't think man can overcome his own issues, man, because it's not in man to do that. It's in some. It's
you think we doomed, Pooch?
No, well, here's what I would tell you. I think as long as you have some that's willing to get involved and make a difference, and some who's always fighting against that, there's always going to be that clash. So that's why I said nothing gets done. It's like same with the government. Nothing gets done.
That's good though. That clash is good because, I think that difference of opinion is good because you don't want one side pushing the whole conversation over to their side, because I think with
what conversation?
If they're talking about weather or whatever it is, you don't want one side totally dominating, because then they're gonna push the whole everything.
But facts are facts, though.
No, I agree. But what I'm saying is, I think that it's good that you have the two extremes. You don't want everybody on one side because you need that other side to bring everything to the middle. You know what I mean?
Well, democracy.
You need that other side if it ain't factual what they saying.
Democracy is good in terms of, yes, you need to have that conversation from both sides. But the Terry point is that conversation, if you're opposing me just because you want to oppose me and you're not coming with any facts to back up your opposition, then it's hard because it's like a lawyer going to court, right? They got their argument, you got your lawyers got your argument, but ultimately the judge in all this is going to be the eventual outcome, which is it's going to keep getting worse because nobody is really trying to see eye to eye long enough to make it better, and that's one of the reasons why I made that statement like I did last week.
I mean, but Pooch though, with getting back into the, I mean, I don't know if you want to go this deep into it, getting back into the Paris Climate Agreement and coming up with agreements for nuclear proliferation. That's what these agreements are for. So you do have people moving on and then trying to do better, right?
Well, they should do that shit like the Dutch, man, and have windmills.
We have windmills.
Yeah, but we don't have windmills like that. Like we need like windmills. Like I don't see no windmills in your neighborhood. I don't see no windmills in my neighborhood.
Well, but what they saying, I mean, and I agree with this though. You can't go from one extreme to the next. It has to be a gradual change. You can't go from one day having all cars run on gas and then
they are gradually.
Right.
You see all these new electric cars coming out.
Right. And the other thing with that, Nike, you talking about getting solar panels. When the technology first come out, everybody can't afford it. So it has to get out there, be introduced, that people figure out a cheaper way to do it. And then
I'm talking about the states. I don't know how if it's the whole the federal. They should make some mandates, like a certain amount of windmills have to be installed each year.
Yeah, see,
gradual. You know what I'm saying? And it so us three can sit here and come up with ideas and plans to fix shit, right? Why they can't? Why they can't do that down there?
I mean, I think they are, but they do. And they are, but again, that's that yin and the yang. You have, as Pusha said, you have people on the other side saying, "Oh, not too fast," because some people might say, "You know what? Things are real bad. Shut everything down today. No more cars on the street. Everybody have to catch the bus." But then you have the people on the other side saying, "Wait a minute, slow down. Let's start off with electric cars. Let's introduce hybrid cars, and so you ease into it." I think that's good. Right. I think big change is supposed to happen slowly. I don't think any change that's going to last happens overnight. It has to happen slowly, because if it happens too quickly, the next administration that comes in is just going to wipe it out. You have to ease into it, because most of the people that are in the middle needs to get used to it and say, okay, I can accept this.
Right. And you know how the government works. Like it's always going to be, they always going to be butting heads, so they're not going to get anything done. And if they do get anything done, when the administration changes, like you said, they're going to go right back to what they was doing before. Whoever greases the pockets the most.
See, now that's what Wayne just said. These agreements mean nothing. You can't put your trust in man-made governments. And again, I disagree with that, because I think
hold on. Let me. I don't mean to interrupt. Go ahead, finish your point. I just said I didn't mean to
interrupt. It's your show, so
no. I mean, I want to stay to finish this point. That's why
the part that I disagree with, because I don't think that man only destroys. I don't think that man only tears things down. Do some men have it in their heart to be destructive and to destroy?
We're a virus.
You sound like Thanos.
We are a virus on the planet.
Well, I mean, but so are you saying so Nike? But listen to this though. So are you saying that the only thing man is good for is destroying and not doing anything good? Is that what you mean by that?
Pretty much. Pretty much.
But so man hasn't done anything good, Nike? I mean,
we've done good for us.
What do you mean by that?
We haven't done good for the universe, or we haven't done good for the environment. We haven't done good for the earth.
Well, wait a minute.
We've done good for humans.
We've done
shit that makes shit easier for us.
Well, we have to be here though, so we still have to live. I mean, okay. So based on what you're saying though, the only way that if we're here,
We done took shit
but
too far, man.
hear me though. Hear me
done
out.
took
Hear me
shit
out.
too far.
But if we're here and we have to live, we have to eat. So are we gonna go cut corn down and eat? Yes. Is that
Right. Right.
are we gonna kill animals to eat? Yes. I mean,
Yeah,
so
but do we have to
still gotta
have
survive.
do we have to have a McDonald's on every corner? With like all these fake ass cheeseburger, burgers. So like all these
but
burger
again, like,
places and all that.
But you do have people on the other side now, which goes back to the yin and the yang, saying exactly what you're saying. So they are saying now, wait a minute, we need to have some green spaces. Okay, no, like the government they set aside part of Alaska where they're saying there'll be no drilling in this part. You have national parks that you can't go and build on. So while
in this part, right?
No, but hear me out though, Nike. So you do have some people saying that if I could put a McDonald's in Yellowstone National Park, I would. But you have some people saying, no, we set that part aside and we're going to prohibit anyone from building there. So you do have some people saying,
right, but you're not going to destroy over here. I'm just going to destroy over here. Do you see how that's fucked up?
I'm at a loss.
You don't see how that's fucked up?
I mean, but okay, so that means that there's some jacked up people, but that doesn't mean, okay, so you're saying that 50% of us are viruses and 50% aren't. That's what you're saying then.
No, I'm saying all of us are viruses.
And we're all destructive and we all destroying things.
Human beings as a whole. I'm putting that as a whole.
Within night. Oh, okay, within Pooch. Within night. What were we here for then? I mean, if we were put here on this earth, I mean, we have to survive. I mean, so we should have just stayed in tents or
let me ask you this question. Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question. The Indians was here for thousands of years, right?
Mm.
How did they survive? I don't remember seeing no Indian McDonald's. I don't remember seeing no Indian Burger King.
I'm sure.
I don't see. You know what I mean?
But listen to this though. But that's not to say, because progress is going to happen. With people comes ingenuity and progress. Do you agree with that?
Yep.
So that's not to say if they weren't winning, and let's just say they weren't in their current situation. If it were more Indians in the United States, that's not to say there wouldn't be Indian McDonald's. You can't say that there wouldn't be, right? That they might have discovered the car, because what happens is as you progress, you do things that make things easier. So the first McDonald's might not have been a bad deal because that helped out the working family, so they didn't have to cook all day.
No, my point.
No. But what I'm saying is that
I'm on your statement just now. When you say we humans have done things to make things easier.
Yes.
Easier for other humans, right?
Correct.
Not easier for the earth. Not easier for the universe.
See, I'm at a loss. Pooch, what do you think, man? What am I not understanding?
I think we need to move on, honestly. Because I mean, this topic is like y'all going back and forth, and it's like, okay, you feel one way, and that's justified.
Right. That's why I asked you your opinion. What do you think about it?
I already gave my opinion earlier. I told you I just don't think, in harmony with Wayne's point, I don't think man can correct his ills, because, like Terry said, some places they willing to build up, and some places they like, nah, we ain't doing it there. And it's all commercial, it's all political, and it's all in the best interest of the dollar. So, like, they know the climate is affected by pollution and smoke from these factories and all that stuff. And there's been some attempts to kind of squelch it a little bit, but the majority of the damage is already done.
But the question is though, when you say that man can't do wrong, and again, you're not saying all man. You're not. No, and I think that's what I'm struggling with.
We talked about this last week. I'm not saying all. When I say man, I mean men as a whole. I'm not talking about some. I'm not talking about every man. And you, none of us in here got anything to do with climate.
Right. Okay. So you talking about half and half. Okay.
I'm just talking about the people in power. I'm talking about the people in power. Well, those who have the ability to really affect change and not affecting change.
Well, but then there's hope then, because if half of us are good,
hope for who?
There's hope.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Stace. It ain't no hope. Like
You rest your laurels on man too much.
No.
This
Well,
thing
but
is,
I'm a man though.
thing is
But
over.
But you're looking at it from a gender specific point of view. I'm looking at it from simple, like it's like the LeBron Jordan debate.
Well, then why not?
The eye test tell me who's better. I know in this situation, like to Terry's point, it ain't gonna get better. It's not going to get better. It'll get better in some areas, but not enough to make real change. And I'm not going to be fooled by small increment changes and say,
but all change is incremental. So, am I just say it again?
Some changes immediate.
No, I said, well, okay, let me rephrase that. All big change is incremental. Okay, Nike, you talked about how bad everything was run off of combustible engines, right? A while ago, during the great, when they came up with burning coal and everything else. They realized how much damage that was doing to the environment, right?
Right.
So they came up with solar panels. They came up with windmills. Is that good? So now they're less,
still doing it though. They still doing it.
But this is the question, Nike. This is the question.
What's the question?
Is it good now that there's less coal burning factories than there was back in the day? Is that a positive or a negative?
Yeah, it's a positive.
That's a positive.
Okay.
But they have you have all right. So you got less coal,
less promotion, right?
But you burning natural gas.
No. Well, natural gas.
Yeah,
that's the advantage of it. No, but listen, but natural gas doesn't burn dirty.
Gasoline
so
cars.
It's better for the economy.
Gasoline cars.
I know, but what I'm saying is that natural gas is still considered a quote unquote.
They emit all these
not natural gas, but okay, let's stick with the windmills though. Let's stick with windmills and electric cars. Let's go with electric cars then. Is that a positive? Electric cars.
Yeah, it can be.
Yeah, it's a positive.
Okay, so that's an incremental change, right?
But Stace, what you're doing to shape your argument is you're taking one or two things here.
I'm talking about incremental change though. That's what I'm saying. I mean, with incremental change, there is hope though. We can't just say there's no hope.
It's hope for you. We don't agree. So let's move on. It's not saying that your point is invalid, but it's just that I don't agree. T don't agree.
Yo,
let's just move on to the next topic.
So where we at now?
I don't know. You the host.
What was it, Nike?
I get it for you.
Classism.
Classism. Yeah, classism.
All right, what's up, Nike?
But okay, so this was a good segue in a sense, because I think it's all about what I talked about earlier, the powers that be. Those who have the power to affect change are the ones who control everything. And that's about classism as well, because those are the rich and powerful, the 1% of this country that runs the country.
So do we have a voice at all?
That's right, Jay. Fossil fuels. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
My bad.
No, but do we have a voice at all?
You have a voice you do have a voice, because people, that go out and vote, they can go out and vote and make change. But that change is temporary, because guess what's going to happen in 4 years if the other side don't like what's going on? They rally their base
the way it was.
You know what I mean? So that's what I'm saying. What change are you affecting? Because everything Trump put in place, now the Democrats had to come undo.
Okay. With that way of looking at it, then in the 60s we were in a certain predicament, right? We were living a certain way as a people, black folk. We were living a certain way. They marched. They did everything that they did. And they passed laws that made change, right?
Right.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask a question. So some people didn't like it, but did it revert back to the way that it was before?
Hold on. Okay, when you say, because now I'm trying to understand exactly what your point is. So when you say it changed, okay, just now, because we were afforded civil rights, right? That was just basic human rights that was afforded us in this country.
But we didn't have those at one time, though.
We didn't, but
exactly. Do you have them now?
You do, to a certain extent.
To a certain degree, we're still fighting for them.
We are, but I didn't say they were perfect. But was there change? Is what I'm saying. But you earlier you said
there was small change.
Okay, but change is change, though, right? I mean, it's still change.
I mean, change just to have change is not change. It's just what it is. What it is, in my opinion. I think change just for the sake of change is not real change. It's just change.
So there's
It's
levels
just-
to it.
Come on, definitely
Right.
it's levels to it.
No,
Yeah.
but so you
if-
saying that? So you saying if it's not a big change, an overnight change is no good.
They gave us enough
That was a question
to
though. but that-
appease. They gave enough change to appease black folks at the time, but the problem is there should be no. We shouldn't have to
Nike, I agree with you 100%.
have some laws protecting. You know, I should just by
Living, you should be able to live a certain
my
way.
existence.
Right.
I should have the same rights, and I'm going to have the same rights as any person, any other person that's walking on.
Okay. So Nike, I agree with you. All those things that happened to us back then were wrong. They were dead wrong. But they happened, and we can't deny them. They happened, right?
It's still happening.
No, but listen. But since those things happened, we still had to work our way out of it. We had to fight to make change. And again, that change didn't happen overnight. It started out with in 1865 with the end of slavery. Then we had to go through Jim Crow. Then we had to go through the civil rights. I mean, but they were all incremental changes though. None of it happened overnight. And I'm not saying that it was right.
We trying to get change. The struggle ain't over yet. The struggle is just starting.
I didn't say that it was.
The struggle is just starting.
The only thing that I say though, Nike, my only thing is that we can't discount incremental change. I mean, incremental change is still change. And look at what your kid. You raise your kid. When your kid is born, you don't say stop crapping on yourself. You say, okay, it's okay to crap in this pamper. Then it's okay. Now you're gonna crap on the potty, and then it's now you got to sit on the toilet. Incremental change, right?
Right.
Okay. So incremental change is good. I mean, we can't say that, expect it to happen.
But that's not a good analogy, Stace. I know what incremental change is, but okay. Jim Crow almost still exists, just about.
Yeah, almost.
What you mean?
Because we still going through we still have the same arguments that we had back with Jim Crow. We got Jim Crow now, they just call it something different.
Well, we don't have the same issues that we had back in the day, though, Nike. There's a little difference. I'm not saying that. Hold up. I'm not saying that we're in a perfect spot now, but we're not in the same spot that we were in the 60s. Is that what you're saying?
Well, obviously, Stace, we're not in the same spot. Come
Not
on,
this.
man.
Look.
You asking
so
obvious
Stace,
questions.
you sound like a dude. Look, it's a dude I work with, right? And he asked me, he's like, why do black people sometimes always get so angry about everything? It's like there's no such thing as racism anymore.
I disagree with that.
There's no racism anymore because look, you black, you own your own house, you own a car, you got a job. I mean, you doing the American dream just like everybody else. You know what I'm saying? That's not what I'm. Just because, like, it's still racism does exist, man. Like, we still fighting the same battles we fought back then.
I think that we have made progress. Do we still have a long way to go? Yes. But I don't agree with y'all that it's not getting better. I think that
how's it getting? Okay, let me ask you a question.
Better. Yeah.
Let's look at some of the comments that brothers are asking.
Mm-hmm.
So Wayne asked, what kind of change are you looking for? And then other people are talking about, like Jay brought out something specific. He says someone with a specific economic or social class, we talk about classism and things of that nature. And then Jay, hold up. But let me just finish. Jay talked about systemic. Hold up, where was it at? I just read that quote. I'm sorry, Jay, if I missed. Let me go with something else. Jay said. He said classism exists in the hood too, and that's so true.
True.
Because you can't look at it on just a global scale. Sometimes it got to be peripheral and look at our own environment in our own community. And we do have classism. We got some people who think they better than others.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And in our own neighborhood. Sometimes it's even in the own family.
Mm-hmm.
There's classism. I remember growing up, my dark skin in my family was looked upon as not I wasn't as cool or as cute as the lighter skinned grandkids or the lighter skinned nieces and nephews and all that. And it wasn't like I blamed them for that because that's the mindset they grew up in. But that in itself is a sense of classism, because what you're doing is you're classifying these people by race or not race, but skin color, whether it's light black light skin or black dark skin. It's still, you know what I mean? Like mentally, we are all screwed up in the head if we think that a person should be judged on anything other than the content of who they are as a person.
Agree.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And all these other arguments and debates is just minutia, and it's just to distract you from what the real is. So when I see these comments and I see people, you know, saying, you know, well, you know, this and that in regards to classism, racism, or whatever, all it is a distraction from the simple fact that as man, all human beings, when I say man, we have to do better.
Agreed.
Right.
And we lost the natural love and affection for each other.
Right.
Okay.
There's no more empathy in the world.
No more empathy, no more sympathy. No, it's all about me. You know what I mean?
Now,
that's promoted in this world, that me mentality.
Now, Guy said, and I think this is kind of, tell me
my brother told y'all hi too. I'm sorry, I meant to tell him.
Don?
My brother Don watching.
Tell him I said what's up.
Hey, what's up, Don?
Guy said anything less than full equality. I can't find his comment. Guy said anything less than full equality is a myth. But I know I'm quoting it wrong, and I think that's what I disagree with that, because I think that, and don't get me wrong, y'all. I'm not saying that things are perfect. I'm not saying that we've made it. All I'm saying is that as long as we're still pushing and moving forward, then that's better than not moving anywhere or going backwards. That's all. That's my only thing. I struggle when I hear that we haven't made any progress, because I don't think that we're in the same spot that we were back in the day. And you're right, Pooch. That whole light
people
skin,
still
dark
fucking
skin,
their shoes up marching. Yeah, I mean, that shit ain't changed yet.
But
changed.
I mean, I Nike, and that's why I said though, and,
they
and we
walking
still
their
have to.
shoes down to the white meat. Man, this shit is crazy, man. Why we always got to be the one marching?
Yeah.
You gotta ask yourself, man.
Yeah. Well, that's fear. I mean, that's fear. I think that, you know, everybody realized that folk okay, let me see something. Explain to me how then race can enjoy full inclusion while depriving her others. Well, God, my answer to that is that, you know, again, that goes back to fear. They want to hold on to what they see as, well, they want to hold on to their upper hand, their privilege. So it's fear. But again, that's not to say that it's right. And also, God, that's not to say that we aren't making progress. You know, we're still making progress. You got people like you on the front line. You doing the work that you're doing with your nonprofit. I mean, you have people that are you have more people now that are in the fight and making moves. Think about what we just talked about when we first came on. You know, things LeBron is doing, and the people in the grassroots, the grassroots organizations are out there doing. I mean, you know, people are still making moves and progressing forward. That's my only thing.
Well, you know, like I said, you know, whether people want to say it's classism, colorism, white power structure, whatever, these are all just phrases to like I said, to describe what we're all talking about, which is the unfair treatment of people for whatever reason.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
And that's wrong. I agree with that.
It's not only is wrong, but it's like
it's immoral.
It's immoral. It's unethical, and
but in the United States,
flat out stop.
White privilege is normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, to them,
I said, like they got it. They have right. But that's what I'm saying. They live in that privilege, right? Mm-hmm. So when they have to come outside that privilege, it's like, oh shit, wait, it's a shock then. You know what I mean? And then shit go left because, you know, they think they supposed to be privileged, right? You know what I mean? Like,
and two things, and it's not all of them. You still, you know, it's and we can't group everybody into one ball and say, but I do agree with you.
We can group all of them into one ball when we say white privilege,
because they benefit from it.
Because they benefit from things that we can't benefit from.
Agreed.
Just by virtue of them being who they are.
Agree. No, I agree with that. They do benefit.
Like I don't have nothing against white people. I got a lot of. I live around white people. I got white friends, whatever.
You say some of my best friends
like
are
a
right
racist,
now.
but
Is it fine? I had some over my house.
I count them all on one hand.
I invited.
See, like I got 3 white friends. This is why these discussions are good and healthy to have, and because we all have different views and opinions, and not one is right or wrong. In my opinion, it's just about
the way
how can we. I don't want to say how can we come together because I already know the answer to that. But at least how can we as human beings accept the fact that yes, we're different and be cool with that. Like all 3 of us are different from each other, but yet we still cool. We still get along. We still, T believes something different than I. You believe something different than T. But that don't make us not be cool with each other. We still consider each other brothers. We've known each other for years. Why can't we look at each other?
We don't look at each other from, what you believe or what you. We look at each other from like that's my brother. Like you know what I'm saying?
But maybe. But you know what though? But check this out. Again, with them growing up in that privilege, we talk about change. Now you talking about changing the people's heart. Again, that doesn't happen overnight. That doesn't happen. That person has to learn that first of all, that their way of thinking is not going to last, is not sustainable, because eventually people fight back, and that's what's happening. So their heart has to change, but again, it's not going to change overnight. It's going to take time. You're talking about changing hearts.
Yeah, I mean, look,
the way that someone's.
In my opinion, black people need to change their hearts too, though.
What you mean?
You know what I mean? Because it's the situation where I know they fucked up for a long time, but
right.
We have to be willing to meet people halfway. You know what I mean? Like, because not everybody, you got it's got to be at some point where you got to say, that was the past, and let's see where we can go from here.
Exactly.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like
that's what Jody said. Then we can move forward.
Yeah. So we have, to be honest, we have racism on both sides. You know what I'm saying?
Right. True.
We have racism without the black privilege.
Right.
They have racism with the infrastructure of white privilege
to support it. That's what Shai said.
That's the difference. You know what I'm saying? So once they can get over their white privilege, and once we can get over not having black privilege, and we can come and meet each other in the middle, then we can start to have conversations. You know what I mean? But that ain't gonna never happen.
That's a pipe dream. You're right. It's a pipe dream.
It ain't gonna happen.
If I told you, let's just flip it in reverse. Say black people was the ones in power in this country, right? Would you give up your power?
Well, they say power is never given; it's taken.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, would you give up your power? Would you
willingly? You know what?
Willingly give up your power? Just answer the question.
I am. You know what, Pooch? You know what? Let me tell you this. I think now I don't know if it's because I've never been in a position of authority to rule over people, but I think that I would struggle.
You own your own club, Stace.
What you say? What night?
You owned your own club.
But you know what though? But I didn't treat people unfairly, and that's where I'm going with it. I think that if I were in the majority, to use Pooch's example, if I were in the majority, I don't think that I'd be saying. I think that I would still be saying that's not fair. You shouldn't treat that person that way.
But you have a conscience, Stace. Like you have a conscience and you have morality.
I'm answering your question though.
And you're not used to having black privilege.
But what I said to you was put yourself in their position. I didn't say
answered it.
But I didn't know. You answered it as a black man.
It was. I can't answer as a white man.
No, listen to what I'm asking you, Stace.
Go ahead.
Get out your feelings. Listen to what I'm asking.
Go ahead.
I'm asking you to put yourself in their position.
Can I answer?
As a powerful white man who's brainwashed people into thinking that his way is the only way.
Well,
and they've had 400 years of infrastructure that's hard to penetrate. Are you going to give up that power?
Okay, can I answer now?
Answer it. Yeah, you can.
Okay. first of all, I can't answer that question as a white man. That's like you
I'm
can't
not
answer
asking
that
you to
question
answer it
as a woman.
white man. I'm just
But
asking
you
you to
did
answer it. No, I'm just
Pooch,
asking you to answer it as not coming from the position that we are in
Stace,
now.
you ain't gonna want to give up that 400-year head start.
You know what? Now see, but where I was,
You
no,
know what I'm
listen, though,
saying?
Night, listen.
Put
This
it
is
like
what's
that.
going
Put
with
it like
though.
that term.
No, hear me out. Hear me out. I think that if I were in that position and I knew that the judicial system were blatantly treating people wrong, that I think that I would be one of the ones saying that's not right. That's not right. And if I knew that there were people out there that were innocent being treated unfairly, I believe that I will be saying, I don't like that. That's not right. That's my answer to the question.
I think you honestly believe that, Stace, but realistically,
Yes.
like I said, if you were in their position, you wouldn't be thinking
Well,
about.
see, but
You wouldn't
again,
be
but
thinking
how
about
can
the person you dominate. You'd be thinking, how can I dominate him more? And
see,
that's all
no,
the white.
see,
That's all white racists
yeah.
think about is how can I dominate more,
See,
not
but again,
less.
Pooch,
It's all
but
about
that's
the dollar.
see,
I mean,
but Pooch, well, I mean, well, we chasing dollars now, Night. We
Oh,
chasing
Stace, we're
dollars,
not
but we're
chasing
not trying to
dollars.
die. No, we are. We all
live in
trying to
how we
live.
have to live to take care of our family.
No,
That's
we
the
all
difference.
trying to
We ain't
live.
chasing dollars.
we chasing change.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
okay, well, we put it this way: we're all trying to live. We're all trying to live. We're all trying to eke out a living. We're trying to gather as much as we can, right? We're trying to make as much as we can, right?
Right.
Okay, so but are you out there treating people unfairly, stepping on necks to get it?
No, that's why I ain't getting it like that. That's why I'm not getting it like them.
Yeah, I
You know
I
what I'm
just don't
saying?
think that. I don't think personally. I don't think that you have to step on necks to get it. I think that if you could be a stand-up person and do things the right way and still get it. So you agree with them then, Nike? So basically both of you two telling me that if you could dominate me right now, if you could dominate me right now and make
You want us
no
to
listen,
dominate you, see?
There you go with the gay jokes. Come on, man, lay off this stuff, man. Lay off it.
What are you talking about, man? Wait,
no, listen, listen.
I ain't into that. I ain't into that.
No, I didn't say domination, but anyway, what I'm saying is that are you two telling me that if there was a way that you can truly take advantage of me and really push me down in your efforts to rise up, that you would do it?
If I was in the part,
no, I didn't ask you that. I said,
because
would you do that now?
Of course not. I got morality, Stace, so I would feel sympathy for you and empathy for your situation. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the white power structure that is firmly in place and been in place since this country was founded. Okay, if I was in their shoes, yes, I would dominate the heck out of you because that's what my mindset tells me I have to do to everybody who I deem to be beneath me. So that's the answer to your question.
All right, hey, all right. So where are we now, man? I mean, I think we.
Oh well, I think we almost wrapping up soon.
Yeah, we wrapping up. All right.
Well,
that was interesting. Go ahead, Pooch.
Just on a closing note, like it's good to have these discussions. I love the passion. I love the thoughts from the audience as well as the panel.
That's right.
And I would love to have that energy every week. And one of the ways we can do that is just bring topics to the table.
That's right.
Like we've been doing, that's lively.
Honestly.
Because any topic can be passionate, but none strikes passion more than when you talk about the situation of the black man in this, well, not black man, but black people in this country. But yet we still have to, just keep widening out our base in terms of what the different topics in which we talk about, because then it just becomes a political show. And I don't want that. Because that's not what we're here to do. We all agree that we're going to talk about everything.
The way we talk about
it. Yeah, hey, a regular day down to 6.
Yeah, I don't want to every week we delving into political issues, because that's not something that I really want to get into.
Well,
we can talk about it.
We're gonna have to.
We can talk about it.
It's a
but I don't want
environment right now.
Like,
all right,
I mean,
like every week, I don't want it to be the same thing, man.
Well,
Monday.
Well, Jay said he wants to talk about dating during COVID or dating after divorce. So we're gonna have to. Talk about that.
Yeah, we could talk about that next week.
We're gonna have to talk about that.
Talk about that next week. That's definitely a topic for next week. Oh, and just to put it out there, because we've been talking about this as the three of us. you know, we would love, you know, to have a guest host at least once a month on the show. So
Periodically, yeah.
yeah, you know, like at least once a month to have somebody come in and just give their opinions on the panel with us. So if any of you guys that's in the chat want to do that, just let us know, give us a shout, and we can definitely make that happen.
Yeah. All right. So in closing, you know, well, go ahead, Nike. You want to throw something in tonight with your closing thoughts, man.
No, I think I think the show is progressing. We get. I feel like have been getting better. Every week, and we just got to keep the content
Oh, God
coming,
Lang.
and just keep the content coming, and keep it moving like that.
All right. You know what? And well, first, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. I want to thank everybody for participating. Talking with us. As y'all see, as we said, this is just four brothers. This is the way we talk.
Real brothers for the real world.
That's right. This is nothing fake.
Three brothers.
Just three.
Our fourth brother in the chat, though. Our fourth brother in the chat.
Bobby Brown.
He keep it pushing in the chat. Yeah. That's my man, King Shice.
Bobby Brown left already.
King Shice.
Yeah.
Bobby Brown went solo.
Yeah, Bobby Brown went solo on us. We still got love. Hey, look, when we do the reunion tour, we still gonna let him come back for the reunion tour.
Yeah, we get him back. But we appreciate everybody, tuning in, joining us on the chat, but also I think that this is the way we grow. When there's something on your mind, we put it out there. Be honest about the way you feel, the way you think, because that's the only way to get out there. We might not agree on everything,
right?
But that's fine too. That's fine too. That's the way we built. We're supposed to learn and to grow from each other. So we appreciate all your ideas and your thoughts and your participation. Let other people know to tune in every Sunday.
Spread that word, people. Spread
that word. Real brothers.
You can catch it also. We're gonna
Real
put
Brothers
it up.
Live. Real Brothers for the real world.
We're gonna put it up on the website. We're gonna also have it on.
What's that website, Stace? What's that website?
Website RealBrosLive.com. Right now.
No. It's RealBrosLive.com.
Yeah, RealBrosLive.com. Click on podcast. You can see everything that we've done so far. Yeah, I know. Yeah, no, that's the
RealBrosLive.com.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, also, if, like I said,
like
you guys are interested, you get to us by just putting in the chat, your name, and what we'll do is your contact information or whatever. We'll get to you, and you can be a guest host. Who knows?
All right. Thanks everybody. All right, y'all. I'm turning it off.
All right.
Peace.